What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with the overall market in Tesla, break down some very important informations on the chart and what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break down all this information, let me just mention a few things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're guaranteed 7 free stocks, and the offer ends in just 12 days. Anyways, for Tesla, I want to be very, very mindful of the possibility that Tesla has a head and shoulders that's forming right here, but head and shoulders could sometimes be traps, they're not always guaranteed. So watch and see, does Tesla start pushing back up and try to break past 178? If we do so, then Tesla could try to turn back to bullish. If we fail to get all the way up there, we just kind of shuffle between 176 and 175 like this, and we end up getting a rejection. There is a risk of us forming a head and shoulders. We have a left shoulder here, we have a head up here, and maybe a right shoulder could be forming, but nothing is guaranteed until we get confirmation. Additionally, if we do end up getting a small rejection, don't be too bearish unless we lose like 172. If Tesla loses 172, then yes, we're going to be dipping all the way down to fill this gap potentially. So be very, very mindful of that and make sure you watch your levels carefully. Tesla's at a critical place, and we'll see if this head and shoulders plays out or not. In addition to all of that, I mentioned to everyone to watch resistance on SPY at 531.5. We've actually kind of tested our 20 EMA. We're a little bit below it right now. We're just shuffling around it. So if we lose our 20 EMA, we're going to be dipping all the way down to 528. And we bounce off of this, we could be making our way back up to 530. But there is a risk of this kind of rejecting, actually sinking back down to 528. So just be very careful. Right now, SPY has a little bearish divergence, and it's actually showing a little bit of weakness on its chart right now. But we need a follow through move for tomorrow for confirmation. But just know that there is some weakness. There's a possible rejection forming, and we'll just wait and see how things go for tomorrow. For Nvidia, Nvidia's at 944, the exact level I called out. I said it might retrace to 944. Now watch and see. Do we lose 944, especially going into tomorrow, start sinking back down to about 935, if not 930? Or do we get a big bounce and start pushing above 950? There is a risk that this is actually going to be continuing to dip right here to the lower levels. So I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. On top of all of this, I just want to call out the QQQ. The QQQ is also dipping a bit. We're actually below our 20 EMA. If we lose this support, we're going to be dipping all the way down to about the 450 area if we end up losing 452. And we have resistance at 453. We have a bearish divergence. We're kind of rejecting right here, so the odds do favor us kind of dipping a little bit more. But just to be safe, watch for confirmation. For Apple, we're stuck at 190, kind of shuffling between 190.5 and then 189.3. We've been going back and forth all day, so Apple's still stuck in the middle. So we'll see what happens. There's a little bearish divergence as well. If we lose our 20 EMA, there's going to be a risk of it sinking towards 189, so give it some time. Just a few more. Amazon's looking kind of weak. We're holding 183 as support. If we lose this, we could be dipping all the way down to about 180. And we have resistance at 185. So we're looking a little bit more bearish on Amazon's chart right now. A very distributive looking structure is developing. For Meta, we just lost 475. So we're looking a little bit more weak. We have 472 as key support, then 468. And we have resistance at 475. We're looking a little bit weaker on Meta as of right now. We'll see if we get a follow through move. GameStop is also dipping. We have 25 as potential targets. That's going to be close to our 0.786 retracement area and our 20 or 200 EMA. So it's looking a bit more bearish. And then the same thing can be said about AMC. It's also dipping. We have support coming up at 4.5 and 4.36. AMC is looking a bit more bearish. One last thing, the VIX is trying to base at 12.4. Notice how we didn't actually lose 12.4. We're basing right now. We're just trending sideways here. Will the VIX get a big bounce as the market gets a rejection, or is the VIX about to collapse? We'll just have to wait and see. With that being said, guys, we'll be watching to see what Tesla does here. I am not saying Tesla will crash or bounce or anything like that. I'm saying just wait and see what happens with this head and shoulders structure. Do we get a big rejection, lose 172 to turn bearish, or is this a trap and is Tesla about to bounce? We'll just have to wait and see. We will see if the head and shoulders plays out or not. So be very, very open-minded nonetheless. Thank you for listening, guys. This is a super fast update. I'll see you guys in a few hours, and peace out.